ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 60, verse number 43. So we are reading the reply of Srimati Rukmani to Krishna's statement or statements where he was joking with her and telling her that she should find another husband because he is not suitable for her. So she has been refuting all the statements which he made and taking the other role that she is not qualified to be his wife. Tam tvanurupam abhajam jagatam atmanamananam chayatcha paratra cha kamapuram स्यान्मे तवंघ्रिचरण श्रुतिभिर्भ्रमन्त्या यो वै भजन्तमप upyatya anatapavargam. So she is saying that tam tva anurupam abhajam jagatam adhesham. She is saying that you are a person who are qualified, and considering that only I have accepted you. So tva anurupam abhajam, because you are jagatam adhesham, you are the Lord of the universe. And atmanam atraya paratracha kamapuram. So you have the ability to fulfill all desires, whether in this life or another life. And I want to have only you as my husband. Syanme tavangri charanam shritibhir brahmantya. That while wandering here on this path of samsara, life after life, I would like to have just shelter of your feet. So Syanme tavangri charanam shritibhir brahmantya yevai bhajtam upyati anritapavarga. And anyone who takes shelter of you, then they become free from this anrita, or the path of material world where everything meets destruction at the end. It's not stable. So aham tu sutcharatva twadguna manushya kanya vicharvati ityatas tvameva bhajam ityaha. So Krishna has said that you have heard from these bhikshus and selected me as your husband. So he says that I have heard, aham tu sutcharat twadguna. I heard your qualities, your character, and therefore, although I am Manushya Kanya, I am human girl, I considered, I thought, and I accepted only you. Tvameva bhajam. So to say this, he is speaking this verse. Yat anurupam atmanam paramatmanas tav bhajanam uchitam eva ityartha. So it is proper to accept you as husband because you are Atma, which means Paramatma. Swasya lila manushitvam eva akasmad ati danyodaya karma manushitvam matva tad bhajanam prarthayate syadati. And although Rukmani is manifesting this human pastime out of her lila, but now suddenly out of danya, humility, she is considering herself as karma manushi. So karma manushi means where you get this human body as an outcome of your karma. And lila manushi means that you accept out of your lila. So she is out of danya, thinking that she is karma manushi, and therefore she is praying for her devotion, his devotion. Syanme tavangri charana shritibhir brahmantya. That I am wandering here on this path of birth and death, and therefore I want shelter of your feet. Shritibhir vividha janmabhir brahmantya api me. So Shriti means path, and this means the path of birth, etc. Shrutibhi iti pathe tavanyatra avtare sitadinam tyagasya shravanahi atra cha gopinam tatha tathadhyai eva tadris vachan shravanaischa brahmantya vivid shankamayam brahmam prapnuvatyapi yastavangri bhajantam upyati kripya tat samipam swamevayati. So there is a difference in reading. Instead of Shriti Bhi, there is also reading as Shruti Bhi. So if that reading is taken, then it says that Tav Anyatra Avatare Sitadi Nam Tyagasya Shravane. So we have heard that in another avatar as Rama, you have abandoned Sita Devi. Because after the war, that fight with Ravana, then he came back, then Ramchandra had abandoned Sita Devi. She went and lived in Valmiki's ashram. And Atracha Gopinam, and here also you have dropped the gopis. You are in Vraj and suddenly you came to Mathura. Tatha Adyeva Etadrish Vachan Shravaneshcha. And today also we got confirmed. So you gave up Sita Devi, you gave up the gopis, now you are telling me. So this is your habit, that you marry, then you abandon them. So, Vividha Shankamayam Brahmam Prapnuvatya. So hearing all this, there is this Brahma in the form of doubt. Api yastavangri bhajantam upyati kripya tat samipam swamevayati. So even with that, still the nature is that anyone who takes shelter of your feet, then out of grace you come to that person. Anritasya vivid brahmasya apavargo naso yasmat. And then you destroy the apavarga, or so Brahma has two meanings. Brahma means to be confused, and Brahma also means to walk, to move. Like you say, Brahman. Brahman means to go for a walk. So both word Brahman and Brahma, they come from Brahma Dhatu. Brahmati means to move. Bhranti, Brahma. So he is taking two meanings. If it is Shriti Bhi Brahmantya, Shruti Bhi Brahmantya. So if it is Shruti Bhi Brahmantya, means confused by hearing all your stories of the past and now hearing your words. And Shriti Bhi Brahmantya means wandering on this path of material world. So both ways he says you destroy their Brahmana. Means you destroy their confusion. Anyone who takes shelter of you, then there is no more confusion. And if you take the meaning that they are wandering on the path of birth and death, then you also destroy their wandering in the material world. So both ways. Anritasya vivid brahmasya apvargaso naso yasmat. So anrita means false, or which is not true, which is the Brahma. Taking the snake, rope as a snake, that is the Brahma. So you remove that. Satattavangri padmam eva asmadadinam sukhdam samrasascha sharanam bhuyat. So that feet of yours, let they be our shelter, because they are the one which brings happiness and peace in life. Natu mukh padmam. He says that we don't want your face, we only want your feet, because from the mouth you spoke harsh words, but with the feet you don't do like that. Anyone who takes shelter of your feet, you give protection, but looking at your mouth, you do some harsh statements, you make harsh statements. So yat khalu visharasam eva kadachit markam vishamapi udgirati kadachit sanjeevakam amritam apiti dyotitam. So he says that yat khalu visharasam eva kadachin marakam vishamapi udgirati kadachit sanjeevakam amritam api iti dyotitam. Why we do not want your mouth or your face? Because this face has this characteristic that sometimes it throws out poison and sometimes nectar. So kadachit sanjeevakam api amritam api iti dyotitam. So therefore we take shelter of your feet. Then next sloka. Tasya shurachut nripa bhavato padishta strinam grihesu khargoshva vidala bhritya yat karna mula marikarshana nopayayad yasmat katha mrida virinchi sabhasu gita. So tasya shurachut nripa bhavato padishta. So now she is saying that you have suggested some husbands. So he says that those husbands are not suitable for me, but they can be suitable for others. And who are they? Yusmat katha mrida virinchi sabhasu gita nopayayat yat karnamulam arikarshana nopayayat. This print is so bad. Half words. You also have it like that?
Yeah,
So difficult to read. So says that these husbands can be married, or these men can be married by those women who have not heard your katha. Yat karna moolam nopayayad yusmat katha. So those who have not heard about you, then they can marry them, because then they don't have any other choice. Because you can only choose from people whom you know. If you don't know some people, how can you choose from them? So therefore, anyone who has heard about you and wants to marry, then you are the most suitable husband. And those who have not heard about you, then they can marry them. Because they have not heard about you and your katha, which is sung in the assembly of Shiva and Brahma. Mrida virinchi sabhasu gita. So tasya shurachunripa bhavato. Because these people, these type of husbands, she is giving them some designation. Strinam griheshu khargo shva vidala bhritya. So these husbands, they are in the house of their wives like an ass, like a bull, like a dog, like a cat, or like a lowly servant. So that's what they do. They carry the burden like an ass, bull also, bullock cart, or guard the house like a dog, or like a cat jumping here and there, and bhritya, taking care of the house. So therefore they are the good match for them. Ye cha ukta ragyam bahavo guna राजपुत्री इप्सिता भूपैर लोकपाल विभूति भी इत्यादि न तन्ने में तत्र शेर्ष्या शापम संगुली स्फोटम चाह. So what Krishna has said, that there are many these kings and their we should desire or marry them. They are bhupair lokapala vibhuti. They are kings and they have big vibhutis, Aishwarya, like the protector of the lokas. So you should choose a husband among them. So, remembering that statement, she becomes angry and with that she is cursing these people while cracking her fingers. English photo like that. Making sound, cracking sound. And then she speaks 2 verses. So khara gardhabiva tatpada tadita. So these husbands, they are like asses. Because what does ass do? Kicks. So they also kick. No, they get kicked by the wife. So they are like that. And gavo balivarda iva bhara vahanadi bhi vyapar klishta. And like a bull, so bull carries weight in the bullock cart. And swan iva, like dogs, how tad griha palanartha tadanyeshu vair karina. So he protects, the dog protects the house and considers everybody as the enemy. Anyone who comes, then he barks. So they can bark. And vidala eva taduchishta bhojina. So this is something I did not know. It says cat, she eats the remnants of the house. Not in the West, right? You have cat food. So here it says taduchishta bhojina. This I don't know how this applies. Cat is not eating uchishta. Dogs eat. So bhrityaiva taddasya karino nripaha tasya admaya patiyasya. And then these kings, they will be the servants of such women. So they can be husbands of such women. Who are these women? Yashyaha karnapatham tvatkatha na prapnuyat. So whose ears have not got the katha, your stories. Hey Arikarshana, and she is calling Krishna as Arikarshana. Arikarshana means one who defeats the enemies. Mama Arin Sishupaladin Antak Nagrim Prati Karshasi Tvamiti. So Shishupal was my enemy. Rukmani is considering Shishupal as enemy because Shishupal wanted to marry her and she was not interested. So you are the Arikarshan because you kick him away.
Baji, at times we will see like this Sanguli Spotam. Commentators will write all of this. I mean, how you will derive it from poetry or even from the shloka like that?
Just the bhav, seeing the mood.
Okay, so they are just figuring out what kind of anubhavas can apply.
Yeah. Then next, this is the famous verse, came recently in Priti Sandarbha also. I think twice it came. Once for the Rasabhas. Svatvaksmasruromanaka kesha pinadhamanta masasthirakta krimi vid kapapittavatam Jiva bhajati kantamati vimudha yate padabjamakrandama jigrati stri. So he says that only that woman who has not smelled the fragrance of your lotus feet, only such a woman will marry a man, this mortal man, and consider them as their object of love. Kanta mati vimudha. So such confused women will marry men who are walking corpse. So have you seen a corpse? Dead body? So what is there in dead body? She is describing. It says outside there is skin, mustache, hair, nails, hair on the head. So these are all covering the inner material. And what is the inner material? So there is some meat, some bones, some blood, some worms, some stool is also there, some cough is there, mucus, some bile, some air. So he says this body is nothing but that. But it is nicely covered with the skin. So beauty is skin deep. Sometimes not even that, because on skin also sometimes you get rashes, some boils. So, but certainly below the skin there is no beauty. So he says that these women who consider this man as the object of love, they are vimudha. So there are two categories of foolish people. One are called mudha, and there who are very special, they are called vimudha. So she is calling them as vimudha. Why? Kanta mati vimudha, because they think that this object is lovable, when actually it is nothing but dead body with some life flowing into that. So Jiva chavam bhajati kanta mati vimudha. So they are fit husband for such people. So this verse is very graphic, describing the human beauty. This certainly does not fit in the Madhurya Bhav. It's good for Vairagya. If you meditate on this. Jiva Goswami writes one sloka in his commentary while describing this. Yadi namasya kayasya yadantastad bahir bhavet dandam udyamya lokoyam shunay kakansya variyet. He says, if there is no skin on your body, imagine that you have to live one day without skin. You are skinned. So what will happen? He says the whole day you will only do one thing, that you will have a stick in your hand and chasing away the dogs. Because they will run after you. So flies, mosquitoes, dogs, and anyone else, whoever can get whatever, ants also, right? So they will all jump on you because it's a nice food. So just because it is protected by the skin, then you can live peacefully. Otherwise he says that you will only have two things. He also had crows. I mean, if you are outside, if you live inside the house, then there are no crows and no dog. But if you go on the street without skin, then crows will also come. Vultures, they will be swooping from the sky. So many people will see the nice food walking. So that is the situation with this human body. So our grace is the skin. Without that, life will be hell. So that's why she says that this is Jiva Chavam. So Jiva Chavam means that it is a corpse, but breathing corpse. So there are two types of corpses, basically, that's what she is saying. There is one type of corpse, it does not breathe. There is another type of corpse, it breathes. So the commentary says, Savai patihi syadakuto bhaya swayam इत्यादि प्रमाणतो वस्तुतस्तु स्त्रीणाम सार्वकालिकी नाम अपि त्वमेव पति. So Rukmani says that actually for all women only you are the eternal husband. Sarvakaliki naam api, or eternally for all women past, present, future, you are the only suitable husband. Why? Because Rama Devi says this in Bhagavatam, in the 5th canto, when describing Ketu Malvarsha, that Savai Pati Syad Akuto Bhaya Swayam, that he is the only Pati husband. Tadapi ya tvadanyam patim bhajati sa pretam eva ramayanti bhajanti. So, knowing this also, one who accepts anyone else as a husband, then she is accepting a ghost as husband. Preta. Preta means ghost, ghostly person. Because ghosts are like that. They are dead, but they are walking. That's why in Sanskrit they are called Preta. Preta means they are gone from here. Praita. In Gata. They are gone, but they come. And then she is describing why it is Preta. So remove the skin, then the body will look like a ghost. Nobody is going to be attracted to that. Even you will not be attracted to your own body. So Jiva Chavatvam eva darshayati visheshan dvayena. So she is showing that how this body is a breathing corpse by two adjectives. So first adjective is Tvaksmasru Roma Kesha Pinadham. Pinadham means covered. That is covered by the skin, hair, etc. External things what you see. And the second adjective is what is inside. Antarmas Rudhirka Vata Pitta Vatam. So Pinadham, Bahir Pinadham Anyatha Dorgandhya Krishta Makshi Ka Kita Koti Bhisya Vyaptam Syat. And because it is covered, it is tied. Like if you have some rotten stuff, then you put it in a plastic bag, then you don't get the bad smell, right? So he says it's just like that, that inside is the rotten stuff, Dorgandhya, but it is tied up in the bag of skin, so then you don't get the smell. And also the nose cannot smell what is inside. If it could smell what is inside, it will be very difficult to live with body. So nose smells only what is outside. Inside you cannot smell. Otherwise, sometimes it happens people have bad smell in their mouth, so they don't smell it. Others smell, but they don't smell. So this is a boon. Because from where that bad smell is coming, not from outside. It's coming from inside, right? So this some boon God has given that you don't smell yourself. So that's why he says that This is just Anyatha Daurgandhya Akrishta. And then this, if it was not covered in this bag, then it will attract a lot of flies and other types of living beings who relish this kind of food. Saiti bhava. Now I don't know how, but next few lines are from Vaishnav Toshni. They are not part of this commentary. How they got mixed up, I don't know. So Mudha eva, actually up to this Naham Mudhaiti. You see twice 45, 45? Do you see in the printout? The 45 number comes twice. So Mudha eva antar masadi mayam jivantam eva shamam kantamatya bhasti. Only these bewildered women, they take shelter of this body as object of love, when it is actually full of all these materials. Te padambuj makarandam pauranik jan bhaktai sarvata prasaritam api yani bhasti heto. So why are they Mudha? Because they have not heard stories about you. Antar masadi mayam jivam, but she says naham Mudha iti bhava. Says they are Mudha, they are confused, bewildered, I am not like that. Antar masadi mayam jivam tameva shavam kantoyam iti matiriyasya say Mudha bhasti. So those who think that this is my lover, then they are confused. Madhyameva hate. So what is the cause of their foolishness or their confusion? So he says, Te Sachidananda Vigrahatvena Prasiddhasya Ta Padabjasya Makarandam Madhuryam Paranik Jan Prabhu Prabhanjanai Sarvatreva Prasaritam Api Ajigrati. So, because she said that Krishna's feet are like lotus and there is a fragrance coming from them, and those who have not smelled that, who have not got that fragrance, only they are confused. So he is building up on that. He says that there is a heavy wind, prabhanjana. Prabhanjana means like a storm. And storm is what kind of storm? Storm in the sense of the Kathavachakas, the Puranikas who describe Puranas. So they are spreading the fragrance of your Katha. Their speech is like a storm which is spreading the fragrance of your Katha. And still the nose of these women has not caught it. So that's why they are Mudha. Sarvatraiva prasaritam api. So just like this, if there is a heavy wind, it will carry the fragrance everywhere. So if you still cannot smell it, you must have some problem with your nose. So then next verse.
Baji, we have 2:45-45, but then it is similar but different in the first one. He is writing.
That's what I'm saying, that one is coming from Vaishnav Toshni.
Yeah, but then after that there is more things like Loka Prasiddha Jadamalina Swarupanam. All this is there.
That is from Vaishnav Toshni. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so this is the original one. That is. Okay.
After this Antar Masadi Mayam Jivam, the rest is Toshni up to 45.
Okay. But there are two different versions of that one.
No, we are reading Sararth version.
No, I am telling you told after this Antar Mamsadi Mayam Jivam.
Yeah.
It is full Vaishnava Toshini.
Yeah.
But in one section it has a lot more than the second one.
No, he has repeated 1-2 lines
there.
that also.
Okay.
The one mistake is that part has come into Sarvatha Darshini.
Okay.
Other mistake is in that part also, there is a mistake. So this Antarmasadi Maya Jivam, and then you see Vishwanath's part, Antarmasadi Maya Jivam. So it got confused because of that.
Is this working? Yeah. Okay. It's saying like at the beginning, like the husband's like a dog, a ass, a bull, and a cat, and all that, and it's describing what the husband can do. It's describing what the husband can do. Like as a dog, the husband can protect the house and all that. But then the argument to not have that husband is because Krishna is beautiful, right? So that I don't understand. I mean, it didn't say the husband's beautiful. It says the husband can do things for the wife.
No, he's saying that these husbands are like dog and asses and all that. So who wants a husband who is like a dog? That's the question.
But the argument was the husband can protect the house. If I was the wife,
It's not protecting like a dog, like a guard. The guard stands at the gate. So you want a husband or you want a guard? What do you want? You're just saying like that.
But then they argued about only Krishna's beauty, and then also the other thing is like the husband, the wife.
No, he also said that you make you free from all confusion. You get knowledge, you get enlightenment. Yave bhajanti, bhajanto upayati, anrit apvarga.
Okay.
That they cannot do.
Okay. But a cat can't do that?
Cat? How? How cat can do? Cat is only looking for food.
The purring. Just kidding.
Okay. हाँ जी नारायण जी, अब हस्बैंड के लिए तो परेशानी कर देना।
उसका तो आपने उत्तर दे दिया।
Now poor husbands, they lost all sheen. All their dadagiri is gone.
Guru Maharaj, my question is that, when Rukmini Devi wrote that letter and sent it through the Brahmana, and it's very clear that when she wrote the letter, she was very clear that Krishna is Bhagavan. And how did people around the world, around India, how did they know that Krishna was Bhagavan? Were there people going and actually singing his glories everywhere and things like that, or how did that word spread? Because my question is that there are other women who may not actually have been aware at all that Bhagavan has appeared. Right? It's really just a logistical thing.
Yeah, it spread. I mean, Krishna did many wonderful things. And in India, if you do wonderful thing, then one thing is that you immediately declared as avatar. Right? And this is very common. Even now we have few avatars. So he did many things to be accepted as an avatar. He has lifted whole Govardhan for 7 days. So that news must have gone. I mean, it's not an ordinary thing.
Because one of the reasons I asked the question is that we are always taught that, we are taught to see Bhagavan not through the lens of Aishwarya exclusively. Somebody who performs great yogic acts. For example, this Shirdi Sai Baba, he performed a lot of actually amazing yogic things, Of course, not to the extent of lifting Govardhan and this and that, but there's a lot of leelas he performed. That's what his devotees claim. My question is that, but our understanding is rooted only in the Shastra. So when people if such an event were to happen in our lifetime and we were to be born when Krishna has appeared and it was going on, then I'm just a little confused. Is that we recognize him through the basis of Shastra or through the basis of these activities, which could potentially be, large yogic displays and things like that, which may not actually mean he's Bhagwan. Just means he's somebody very powerful. Just a doubt.
Well, it depends what you mean by we. If by we you mean like people whom you are giving as an example of devotees of Sai Baba, then you will believe like that. And if we means those who study Shastra, Vedas, then they will go by
That's
that.
what I mean.
So they will go by that.
Got it.
But common people all over the world, it is not only in India, it is all over the world. What impresses people or what we think of somebody as godly, divine is seeing some miracles. In Christianity, actually, you are declared as a saint only if you have done some miracle. Otherwise, you are not a saint. You may be priest or whatever, but sainthood is only if you do some miracle.
I see. Yeah.
And you can only be saint after you are dead. When you are alive, you cannot be declared as saint. So therefore you cannot do sadhu sangha in Christianity. It's not possible, Because sadhu, you become sadhu only after death. Okay, Kishori Priyaji.
Pranam Babaji. So my question is the opposite of this, that in this Bhagavatam here it's given that Rukmini Devi is saying that the husbands, like the women who marry ordinary people, the husbands who are like treated like cats, dogs and all that. But some other places in the Shastra it's given that we should worship the husband as the presence of the Lord in our life. So how do we resolve these two contradictions?
No, its resolution is there only that you have to see that they are representative of God. Then you have not. She is talking about those who are thinking this body itself as object of love. Because it says Kantamati Vimudha. So if you have the proper understanding, then it is okay, because it is not practical. How everybody is going to have Krishna as husband? It's not manifest now, and you cannot marry everybody. So marrying him is in that sense only. Astwambujakshamam te charnanuraga atman ratasya mahi chanatirikta drishtahe yariyasya vruddhaye upatra jyoti matra mamikshashe taduhana paramanukampa. So now she is praying that astu ambujaksha mamate charananuraga, that let my anuraga be only to your lotus feet or lotus-eyed one. Atman ratasya mai chanatirikta drishte, and I should have only rati in you, mai rati, atman ratasya, anatirikta drishte, not seeing anything else. Yariyasya vruddhaye upatra jyoti matro mamikshashe taduhana paramanukampa. And you have accepted this rajas, upatra raja, only for the propagation of this material world, sansarasya mamikshase taduhana paramanukampa, and for that you look at me. That is your great grace. So he is now applying this verse in a different mood. Says yaduktam udasina vayam, because one of the statement Krishna made that he is indifferent. And he married because he wanted to subdue the pride of Shishupal and so on. But actually he had no interest in marrying. He is renounced. He portrayed himself as a very renounced person. Vairagi, which also he has. So now she is saying that, but it is not a fact. So yaduktam udasina vayamiti tatra tad udasinata anusandhana matrenaiva manasthai bhavo upshanto satyamati danya samudre nimajjanti eva astu iti. So he is applying it that as if in some previous verses she had shown some man, self-conceit, some pride. But now remembering that Krishna is saying that he is udasina, then all her man is gone. Because one of the way to break the man is to be indifferent. And because her man has been broken, manasthai bhava upshanto, so then she is drowning in the ocean of humility. And then she says, Astu ambujaksamam te charananuraga, that let me have anurag only for your feet. Yadyapi tvam nirpeksha, tadapi mamate charananurago astu. Although you are indifferent, yet I want that my love should be only for your feet. Maita vadasinyam uchitam evetyaha atmanratasya. And your indifference towards me is appropriate because you are atmarama, atmaniratasya mai. Ateva yathate jagati asmin udasina drishti tathai mai cha anatirikta ato anadhika drishti yasya tasya. So although you are very udasin towards this world, yathate jagati asmin udasina drishti, tatha mai cha anatirikta ato anadhika drishti. So you can have similar drishti towards me also. Kincha yarhi yasya vishwasya vriddhaye upatta rajo ati matra utkatyam yena स तथा भूतसन मामीक्षसे उ एव अर्थे हाहर्षे तदेव न परमानुकंपा तदेव अहम परम सौभाग्यम अभिमन्ये. So now out of humility, what she is considering herself is as like personification of material nature. It says that although you are indifferent, but because you wanted to create this world, so you glanced at me. So, ekoham bahusyam iti sakshat, he glanced, and then material world got created. So that's what he's saying here. He asya vishwasya vriddhaye upatta rajaso ati matra utkatyam yena. That you have accepted the rajas means you glanced. Satatha bhutasan mamikshase. And with that mood of creative potency, you look at me. Tad uha na. So u says is u eva arthe, certainly ha harse. Out of happiness he is saying, tadeva na parmanukampa. This is your great grace on us. Tadeva aham paramam saubhagyam abhimanye. And I consider this as a great fortune that you glanced at me, although for the purpose of creation, although you are completely indifferent. So now the question may come that she is not in charge of material nature, so why she is saying like this? So Sri Vishnu Chakravarti further comments on this. Ayam artha tatha aham api tachitto nidram cha na labhe nishi. So Krishna has also sent a message when the Brahmana came. He says that after I got your message, then I did not get any sleep at night. Tvad-vachanat mayi tavasakti. So this shows that you have asakti in me. You also have love for me. Udasina vayam, but then you say you are also indifferent. So how is that? Iti vachanad odasinyam cha drishyate. So he's saying that you have two moods. One of your mood is that you are saying that you did not sleep at night because your mind was attracted to me. Other statement you are making is that you are completely indifferent. You have no interest in marriage. So these two moods are being depicted. So he says, Tasman mai bhavan asajjate ched aham te paramantranga swarup shakti reva. So he says, because you are very much attached to me, this is because I am your supremely internal potency, paramantranga shakti. Ateva atma ramo api mai atma bhutaya ramte eva. And although you are Atma Rama, you take pleasure only in your own self, still you are in love with me because I am your Antaranga Shakti, internal. So you cannot neglect me. But then you say you are Udasina, Mai Udaste Chet, Aham Te Bahiranga Shaktir, Gun Prakriti Reveti Yato Mai. So I am also your Bahiranga Shakti, external potency, and in that you are absolutely indifferent. So therefore he says, Tav ubhyatvam iva tvayapi mama ubhyatvam iva. So I have both swarupas, internal as well as external, and therefore you have two moods towards me. So you are right. Okay, so we'll stop here if there is any more question on this. It's almost coming to an end. Long dialogue. Yeah.
Hello? Okay. Oh, Babaji, please accept my obeisances. Dhanyavad pranam. I just wanted to give a little fun add to the class as we were discussing, because none of us hang around dogs, cats, like we don't keep animals. So I kind of played with the search of the negative symbolic meaning of the animals. I just want to read just 2-3 lines on each. So it says dog, negative symbolic meaning would be a blindly loyal, but also greedy, often shameless, eats anything, dependent, begs. Cat, symbolic meaning cunning, selfish, pretends to be affectionate but only for benefit. Like that's an animal, those who keep animals. And then a donkey, stupidly tolerant of any abuse, especially for the basic sex with a she-donkey. That's
Yeah. So this is good. ChatGPT.
Yeah, I did that. I mean, we don't hang around animals. How would we? I don't know even. I have never had a cat or a dog.
Yeah, but these are the qualities.
Yeah.